Hi everyone, welcome to Codersarts YouTube channel. So from our previous videos of MVP where we have showcases our AI powered resume builder application, and in that video we have got a lot of comments on our social media handles regarding the internal workings of the things, or like how things were working behind the scene. So this is the second video of that series, and in today's video I will be discussing you, or I will let you know how does autofill works in our website. In the previous video we have discussed how we were rendering templates dynamically and filling the user information on that template, and this is the second video. And in today's video, as I mentioned, we will be learning how autofill works. So you have seen this autofill button over here, and it will, like, if you are entering some information in these input boxes and you don't know, like you don't have any idea like what information you have to enter, so you can just click on this autofill button and all of these information will be filled automatically. So it will give you an overview like how or in what format you have to enter these information. I know like contact information is not that thing, like you have to take the idea, but we have implemented this thing in different section like project section, skills, summary, certification, all of these, which I will be showing you in the later part of this video. So whenever you click on this button, these information get filled automatically with the dummy one basically. Now I will be letting you know how this is working internally. So before moving on to the code base or showing it to you in the website, let me give you the structure, how we have designed this thing. So basically, currently we were storing all the things in the database. So we have a dummy data table. It contains, like, it is an array which has 5-6 objects with some key value pairs. So whenever a user clicks on that autofill button, request goes to the backend, and we fetch some information, like we fetch a random, we call a random function which fetches a random what you can say objects from this array, and we were just doing dummy data, the first value and whatever section that user has requested. So let's suppose if user has requested projects information, then it will just return the dummy data of the project information. We were not returning the whole thing because it's not required. Like if user has just requested the information of context or project, then why to return the whole thing? So we were just returning that section value. I know it's not that more like not understandable to you. So let me give you a code overview and also show you the things in the website. So this is the website. Now you are seeing this autofill button. So we were discussing this autofill button. Like whenever user clicks on this button, all of this information get filled up with the dummy one. So currently it's filled up. So let's not interfere with this thing. Let's move on to the summary section. Now, if user don't have any idea like what information they have to enter, like what format they have to enter, so they can just click on this autofill button, and as you can see, it's fetching some information, and yeah, it's filled up with the dummy one. Now user gets an idea, okay, I can enter the information in this format, like there are bold format, there are underlined format, italic format. So they get an idea like how things were working, or how they can optimize their resume. So it's helped a lot to the user to give an idea, or like to help them to make their resume best in the industry. Now this is for summary section. Let's move on to the experience one. Now here is the experience section. Now if the user like it's a if the person is fresher, or like they don't have any idea about things how we have to enter these things, now they can just click on this autofill button, and as usual, like all the information get filled up, like role, company, starting date, end date, company location, and also few bullet points like how they can enter the bullet points. We have given two options, like uh, you can see over here they got two experiences. Now if they want this thing to continue, or if they want to make certain changes in this one only, they can do, or if they don't want, they can just click on this delete button and move on with these things. So this is the case, this is the same with education. Like they can just click on this autofill, and all the information are just getting filled. Same with the skills, they can just click on autofill. They can mention their skills in this format. If they want this one, they can just move ahead with this one, or they can edit these things as well. So this is very useful for the people who are just getting started in building resumes, or like they want to get an idea how we have to enter the information, so they can just take help of this autofill button. Now let's move on to the code base, like how things were working in the code. Let me show you that. This is the code base of that autofill button that we were seeing over there. So this is the component, and where we were describing our autofill button, and this is the section that we were calling it. I'm coding in React, TypeScript, and Tailwind CSS for the designing aspect. So this is the tech stack. Now it's always recommended in React to, in general, to create separate component for everything, so that you follow the dry principle of the programming, where you are not repeating yourself again and again. So it's easier for you to maintain the whole code base. So we have just created a component for this autofill button. Now we were just calling this AI button everywhere wherever we are needing that thing, and we are just passing the props that are required for this AI button. Let me make you understand in a much more better way. So first, this is the component. Here we have described a button. Now if the initial state or the state is loading, then it will be shown a loading spinner. If not, then a brain icon and autofill button text will be visible. And we have described this loading spinner over here. This is the loading spinner design. Now it's taking two props. Basically, one is generate, which is a function, and another one is the loading state. It's a boolean value, whether the state is true or false. Based on that, these things should be executed. Now we are calling this thing over here. So as you can see, this is the heading section where we have described the project, where we are calling this AI powered button, and below this we are rendering our component, like the input boxes or like buttons to add or saving the project, these kind of things. Now whenever user clicks on that autofill button, this autofill button, one function get calls, which is this one. Now initially when this function is being called, it sets the loading state to true. So you will see that loading bar over there, because things are getting started to process. Now it calls a function, basically an API request that is being sent to the backend. It takes the value. So here we are sending project value. This project value means we want the data of the project section. We don't want the data of the contact or certification. We want the data of the project section, and based on that, it sends the data of that particular section. Instead of sending all the values in a single go, it sends the value of that particular section, so that it's easier for us to show those values in the front end. Otherwise we have to segregate the things and just filter out the necessary things in the front end. So we are just maintaining these things in the back end only, or in a more better way you can say, we send the value that you want and we will filter it out and send it to you. Now whenever we are getting the values, firstly we are changing the values of the input tag. So whatever information that are there in the input tags, it gets replaced by the dummy one. And also in the preview section where we have seen all the values, like whatever value that user has entered, it also gets changed with the one that we are fetching from the backend. Now the state changes again to false because our request has been executed, and if there's any error, then this catch function get executed. It basically says if the promise is successful, then this function will be run. If the promise is give some error, then this catch block will be run. Inside this, we were just doing a console.log of the error. Basically whatever error that we are getting, we are just doing a console.log. After that, we are just making the loading state false, so that that loading icon should not be visible again. Like if we are getting any response, whether it's a good like resolve response or error response, the loading state should be hide. And finally, this finally block basically get executed. So whether your request is successful or show some error, doesn't matter. This finally block get executed no matter what. So in the finally state also, we are just making this set loading content to false. Like you can just either remove this thing, no issues, like because we are making this set loading to false over here. So either you can just remove it from here, and because we have written this thing over here, so no issues with that. So this is the overall structures. As I have told you earlier, whenever user clicks on this button, one request goes to the backend where we have stored the information in the array format, in the array of object format, and we just call a random function which picks up the random value. It send it to the front end, where firstly it fetches out, like if the user has asked for the value of project section, then it will just send the value of that project section. We are getting the project section value and we are putting it, or we are showing it to the front end. So this is the overall structure that we have followed. Later on we will be integrating AI part also, not storing the values in the database. We will be implementing the AI part over here. So whenever user requests something or clicks on autofill button, we will be calling an API, and with a certain prompts we will be generating the dummy content on the go. We will not like showing the same value to every user. We will be changing the value so that user can have like number of options. And one more feature that we are thinking or to implement this thing is implement in this was to take a prompt from the user, or you can say get to know from the user if this particular resume is for SEO person or data analytics person or anyone like project manager. So we will be getting this information from the user, and based on that query we will be calling an API and sending the appropriate data for that particular resume. So if the user is building a resume for project manager, then they will get the data of the project manager only, so that they can also have a good knowledge. If they were building a resume for project manager, so project manager information should only be feeded over there, so that they can get a holistic idea. So yeah, this was the structure. Now if you there are two ways. Either you can create an API, like make an API call to the existing LLMs like OpenAI or DeepSeek or anyone, or the second way is that you can create your own LLM model or train it on certain data. If you want to integrate that thing in your projects, like creating a custom LLM model, then you can contact us. We will help you out with that. We have really brilliant ML engineers in our company, which are very experienced in developing or creating LLM models or training the models. So if you have any query regarding that, you can just contact us. We will help you out with that. So yeah, this is the overall structure that I was talking about. That's it from my side. Hope you have understood the internal workings of that autofill button, what structure we are following, how the data is being sent from the backend to the front end, how front end requests the data, and all of these things. There are other ways also that you can follow to generate this data, like by calling a LLM's APIs like OpenAPI, DeepSeek or more, or either you can create your own LLM models or train that LLM model on a certain data and then start fetching the information from there. So there are n number of ways. You can follow any approach. Now if you have any more questions or doubt, or if you have any idea, basically a product idea that you want to convert into an MVP or later convert into an actual product, then you can contact us on contact@codersart.com, and even you can visit our website, which is www.codersart.com. And if you have any suggestions, any ideas or anything like that, you can just mention all of these things in the comment section, or you can even follow on our social media handles to give any suggestions or any feedback. So that's it from my side. See you in the next video.